Worry not, my friends. I don't truly believe that the apocalypse is upon us. But if it is, backpacking might actually help in a lot of ways. Stay tuned, and we'll talk about it. Now, if you pay attention to the World Wide Web, the intranet, so to speak, you've probably seen some pretty terrifying news happen around the world. And one thing I'm here to tell you is whether it be World War III, natural disaster, or perhaps a zombie apocalypse, backpacking will have some skills that will help you in scenarios such as that. Have you ever noticed I only own like 5 shirts? So here's the deal. Full disclaimer, backpacking skills alone are not going to help you in cases of absolute survival. If you need to know plant life and are able to harvest animals to eat, that would obviously be beneficial as well. I'm only here to talk today about the few things in backpacking that would allow us to at least have certain advantages should the shit go down. So first and foremost, we can walk a long ways, generally speaking. Even those of us that do shorter trips can probably live life on foot better than the average American. Second, hopefully most of us have developed some sort of more primitive navigational skills that would exceed the average American's ability. And I think part of the reason that that's very important is because you may have to navigate the wilderness, you may have to read maps to find your way to different places where there are water, things of that nature. And it's a really good skill to have. Now, if you're like me, maybe you're not great at reading a compass, but maybe that's something that you could increase in your skill set and rely a little bit less on the phones and apps that we usually use, GPS, just in case those things are not even an option. Thirdly, we have the ability, generally speaking, just because of the fact that we are all gear junkies, to stay pretty warm in cold temps. Most of us own multiple quilts. I could bring myself down into negative temperatures Fahrenheit, and a family of 3, maybe 4, very comfortable down to at least freezing. And I know that I carry probably or own less gear than a lot of you gear junkies out there. So ability to stay warm because of technology and things like this quilt behind me are a major step forward, because maybe we won't have furnaces or heat. And those of you that are like me and have a hot tent, we're in real good shape. Speaking of hot, coming in at number 4, backpackers generally have the ability to build a fire efficiently and skillfully. And if you're aware of simple natural things like a birch bark, for example, you can start fires pretty efficiently even without a fire starter, and we know how to keep them going. And perhaps most importantly, coming in at number 5, backpackers have the ability to filter water. Not only is it a skill, back to the navigational part, to find water, but we generally have 1 or 2 or 12 water filtering options that we own already. And water is an essential part of life, numero uno, in fact. So we have that ability. And I don't know that most Americans even have water filters laying around their house. So that, my friends, are just a few of the things that being a backpacker can help you with in case of a survival situation. Now, don't forget, people that are highly skilled in finding forageables and mushrooms and things in the woods, fishermen, hunters, are obviously going to have an edge as well. So maybe adding some of those skill sets to your repertoire would be a very, very good thing to add. Now, because I'm rather loose-lipped and like to sometimes just talk about serious things, I think it's important that I tippy-toe into the world of today's politics. Right now, we have a government that offers us limited choices on subjects that most Americans agree on. We're divided in a lot of ways as well, but at the core of the simple things in life, we are probably united. And one of those simple yet petty things that I've never understood, for example, the sun goes down as early as 4 p.m. here in western South Dakota in the wintertime, and our government, for some odd reason, can't give us 1 more hour of daylight with permanent daylight savings time. That's really the only example I'm going to provide because I don't want to dive too deeply into politics. But I suggest simply that we find a way to demand better choices. So, in the words of Cypress Hill, if the shit goes down, you better be ready. Let's hope it doesn't, but backpacking does add to your skill set should survival become necessary.